Hi everyone, welcome to Late Night Stocks. In this video I'm gonna talk about Moderna, BioNTech and Novavax. Many people think that pandemic will be endemic sooner than expected, and vaccine stocks got a huge sell-off. The question is, should you buy, sell or hold your shares? I'm gonna share different opinions about the pandemic and new variants to make the situation more clear for you. Let's start with the Omicron news. Expect more worrisome variants after Omicron, scientists say. Get ready to learn more Greek letters. Scientists warn that Omicron's violent advance practically ensures it won't be the last version of the coronavirus to worry the world. Every infection provides a chance for the virus to mutate, and Omicron has edge over its predecessors. The faster Omicron spreads, the more opportunities there are for mutation, potentially leading to more variants, according to an epidemiologist at Boston University. This is not something new, I already told you in previous videos. This speed may help to reach herd immunity sooner, but we may also face with dangerous variants. It's the longer persistent infections that seem to be the most likely breeding grounds for new variants. It's only when you have very spread infection that you are going to provide the opportunity for that to occur. Another point is, viruses don't always get less deadly over time. Experts say the virus won't become endemic like the flu as long as global vaccination rates are so low. These huge unvaccinated swaths in the US, Africa, Asia, Latin America and elsewhere are basically variant factories. I showed you this article because the Wall Street are looking now at the bright side. They are saying that Omicron is a natural vaccine and the pandemic will be over soon without any problems. On the other hand, institutions buy more vaccine stocks. I will show you the numbers a bit later. Will COVID-19 end soon? It will look different after Omicron, Bill Gates says. The ongoing thought is that the Omicron variant will provide enough immunity to make the coronavirus more endemic. On the other hand, Dr. Scott Gottlieb said the COVID-19 pandemic would become more endemic after the Delta variant wave in November. Now you see the original article. By January 4th, this pandemic may well be over. Now we see 1 million cases per day in the US. I also think that one day the pandemic will be over and the situation will be handled as an endemic. My point is, this transition won't be so smooth like the Wall Street expects. Moderna CEO warns people may need fourth COVID shot as efficacy of boosters likely to decline over time. Omicron could accelerate the transition from the acute crisis caused by the virus to endemic phase, where enough people have immunity protection so that COVID isn't disruptive to public life. He also emphasized what I already told you. What is totally impossible to predict is there a new mutation coming in a day, a week, 3 months that is worse in terms of severity of disease. That's a piece that we will have to just be cautious about. Meanwhile, after Israel, Ontario to offer fourth COVID-19 vaccine doses to immunocompromised Ontarians. Actually, Omicron accelerated vaccine sales in this quarter. Of course, investors price the future and they are afraid of sharp declines in vaccine sales next year. The situation for 2023 is not so clear so far, and we will be talking about that in details on Patreon. If you want to join us, you can find the link down below the video. Moderna stock was almost 20% down last week and closed at $204. By the way, a lot of institutions increased their positions last week. Now the shares changed the hands. Many retail investors are scared and think that the party is over. On the other hand, institutions are collecting the shares, let's say at 50% discount. Of course, nobody can predict the stock market behavior, but institutions are more bullish than the retail investors. Last week, Moderna made a business update. The company secured $18.5 billion in revenues and approximately $3.5 billion in options. In addition to that, company continues to scale with 40 programs in development, including 23 in ongoing clinical studies. The biggest difference between retail investors and institutions is institutions hire people to make them fact-based analysis, and retail investors mostly behave more emotional. Of course, the market makers can dictate the news. that to be served to the retail investors. That's why I try to show you different opinions and the numbers based on my own research. The vaccination campaign in the US is going well, and the providers are administering about 1.29 million doses per day on average. As you see, the Omicron variant has accelerated the vaccination campaign. Meanwhile, in Germany, 7 people are being vaccinated every second. When we have a look at the daily reported doses given by manufacturer, we see the major players such as Pfizer and Moderna. This situation can cause also extra orders from Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech. According to new reported people vaccinated data, the people mostly vaccinated with additional dose. But we also see huge demand from unvaccinated people. When I summarize what I told you, the recent sell-off is not about the vaccine sales in this quarter. In addition to that, the vaccine makers are very likely to beat the estimates in this quarter. End of pandemic sounds bad for the vaccine makers, but they have already sold more and more doses. People could get their boosters 1 quarter before than expected. Now, vaccine stocks are driven by the emotions. That's why it's very hard to expect a dip now. No risk, no fun. We can see also 50% decrease and increase. Moderna is a strong company with 40 pipeline projects. Now it's time for Moderna longs. BioNTech closed at $195 last week, and like Moderna was down about 20%. The company made a pipeline update last week. BioNTech and Crescento Biologics announced global collaboration to develop multi-specific precision immunotherapies. It seems they expect multi-billion-dollar sales from this potential product. In addition to that, BioNTech and InstaDeep developed and successfully tested early warning system to detect potential high-risk COVID-19 variants. As I told you, Omicron won't be the last variant. Now you see Omicron variant and the other major or previous variants of concerns of COVID-19 depicted in a tree by genetic distance. So far so good. There are a lot of good news, but the stock price is bearish. This company wants to be a pharma giant in Europe and invests a lot of money in its pipeline. Its headquarters in Mainz in Germany, and this city will probably become a biotechnology center in Germany and also in Europe. For the long term, I am super bullish, but for the short term, I don't know, I can predict. The stock price is dropping not because of me. I hope I can help you to make your own decision. From the Novavax side, the situation is not so different. On Friday in pre-market, I saw minus 13% down, and the stock price closed at about minus 1%. Despite a lot of good news, like Novavax begins shipping COVID-19 vaccine to Europe, this stock is going down like other vaccine stocks. France HAS says Novavax and Janssen vaccines are good alternative. These vaccines offered an efficient alternative for people hesitant about RNA-based vaccines or who cannot take these for medical reasons. Novavax has its own market and made secure billion doses in contracts. Recently, South Korea Ministry of Food and Drug Safety approves Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. The companies have an advance purchase agreement with the South Korean government to supply 40 million doses of Novavax vaccine. Now they can deliver the doses and we may see the revenues in this quarter. Like we saw previously at Moderna, institutions increased their positions last week. I know the problem is neither the news nor the companies. Some investors want to sell off these stocks, and because of too optimistic news about the pandemic, these stocks are dropping. I would like to sum up the topics about these companies. Let's talk about the risks about these stocks. And the investors are searching for safe hedges against inflation. The Fed makes the situation even stranger for the stock market. The endemic trend can cause more stock price drops in upcoming months. On the other hand, if we face more dangerous variants, these stocks can also skyrocket like last year. If you are emotionally tired and don't want to take more risk, you can close your positions. The situation is very unclear and what we can do to calculate the risks. We probably see new variants, even dangerous ones, and these companies secured their sales at least for this year. For the next year, please join us on Patreon. Thanks for watching till the end. Please give a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye.